Holy crap, it's already time to do top 5 lists of 2011? I might be premature, but I've got some books that I really loved reading this year, and I thought I would share them with you. The first book I have to show you is an adult book, Josh Bazell's Beat the Reaper. This is about an assassin who's sort of changed his life and has become a doctor at an inner city hospital, and he's not the kind of doctor you really want. He's really apathetic and really kind of vulgar and awful, and so is everyone around him. It paints a really awful picture of the healthcare industry, as well as being violent and gory, and has one of the most disturbing endings I've ever read, and I laughed all the way through it. And that's sort of the benchmark for a good read for me, is that if the humor is dark enough, and I think what I find hilarious are things that people should never even joke about, and that's pretty much the reason why I'm going to hell. The next book that I truly loved was published at the end of 2010, but that's, whatever. So be it. It's The Replacement by Brenna Yavanoff. And I think it's such a great take on fairies, this decay of, fairyland and garbage dumps, and it's just sort of just awesome. Generally awesome, with a great lead character. It's a boy book, too. Why not go grab it? The next one, seriously, amazing. Libba Bray's satire, Beauty Queens. I found this to be really inventive and just sort of fun, experiential read. I really like any book that kind of steps outside the traditional framework of storytelling and uses things like footnotes and like sidebars and stuff like that, because sometimes I get bored. I really do. I get bored with traditional story, linear progressions. And Libba Bray's Beauty Queens is definitely not that. It tells the story of beauty queens who crash land on a deserted island, and there's lots of discussions of feminism and the dangers of commercialism. Lots of interesting things to take a satirical look at, and love it. Love it. The next book, I don't actually have the book because I read it as an ebook, but it is Domestic Violence by Matthew Norman. And this was a sort of a family saga / work satire, really dark humor, very funny stuff. It's also an adult book, although not nearly as adult as Beat the Reaper. It's good stuff. I mean, if you're into satire and Tom Perrotta style, Tom Perrotta is the author of Little Children and Election. If you're into that kind of thing, you'd definitely be into Domestic Violence by Matthew Norman. Pick it up. It's awesome. The last book, and probably my favorite book that I've read this year, is Please Ignore Vera Dietz by A.S. King. This book, while not traditionally paranormal, has some interesting tidbits. There's the phone. I was on a roll. It definitely has some aspects that push it into the realm of magical realism, but at its core, it's a story about loss, the loss of love, the loss of friendship, the loss of a friend, death, and which seems like it wouldn't be all that entertaining, but it's at the same time very funny and very disturbing and beautifully written. It makes me sick, really. It's so well done, it makes me sick. And I can't wait to read Everybody Sees the Ants, which is her next book that's coming out soon. So those are my top 5. What are your top 5 books of 2011? Actually, it feels really premature to say that because I'm really also looking forward to Brenna Yavanoff's The Space Between, which is coming out, I think, the 15th of November. And y'all should pick that up as well because I know I'll be reading it soon. That's it. Bye, Nightstanders.